Go baby, what's good guys? Yoku here, and we are now in a point where you've started building out your DPS characters. We currently have Fushun, and you possibly have Locha. You might have gotten Japar, you might have Bailu, still probably building Fire MC and Natasha, whatever the case may be. We're now at a point in the game where we can start looking at other DPS options, and what's even better, we can start adding secondary DPSs, or the real term for sub DPS, into our current accounts. Right now, a big conversation that people are having, especially free-to-play players, whether or not they should pull for Jingliu or Topaz and Numby. I'm not gonna keep saying Topaz and Numby, by the way. I'm just gonna say Topaz. It is what it is. The question, whether or not you should pull for Jingliu or skip and say for Topaz, I'm gonna answer that here. The answer is really easy. I can answer this pretty quickly, but I will extend that answer so you have more detail on why I'm saying what I'm saying. The gist of it is, if you're looking at this from a purely meta perspective, you want the strongest of the strong, pull for Jingliu. If you're looking at this from thighs, I can't believe I said that. If you're looking at this from a thigh perspective, hot perspective, literally flame, pull Topaz. If you're looking at this from what you might have the most fun with, Topaz. There are a couple things that can be broken down into why these function the way that they do, but from a general consensus of me as a meta player, as well as running a free-to-play account, I have two. I have my actual account, which is a content creator account, and then my free-to-play account, which consists of Bailu. I believe I have Yuan, I have Yang. I just lost the 50-50. I don't remember who I lost it to, but I didn't get Fushun. I did get a copy of Links, thankfully. I think I might have gotten E1, but I lost that. So for that account, I've been preparing to get Jingliu, but the account itself might benefit more from Topaz being on the account. Why would I say that? Topaz is gonna be one of, if not the first character, who allows us to start turning the tables for how we build teams going forward. She has the capabilities of being a main DPS as well as a sub DPS. And so right now, a lot of players, too many players, in fact, are running this whole like everything is a hyper carry. All DPS characters are hyper carry. If it's a 5-star DPS character, they're hyper carry. No, I get it. I really get it. Some of you repeat what you hear from your favorite creators or streamers. That's cool. Sometimes, most of the time, they and then you are wrong. A hyper carry is not every DPS character. Every 5-star DPS character that comes out is not a hyper carry. Just because a DPS character does big dick damage does not make them a hyper carry. Hyper carry is the name of a team comp. Editor EO here, and I had to go back and I just did a little more research just to make sure on what I was telling you guys prior to this. What I was gonna say was hyper carry is a team comp and that you can't have a hyper carry character. But in actuality, what I've learned is that you guys over here in the Hoyoverse meta are using League of Legends terms. Hyper carry in League of Legends, for instance, or even in Warhammer, means that this one character does so much damage that they just obliterate whatever is on the field by themselves. They don't need help with anything else. Now, in retrospect, I'm still correct. Jingliu is not a hyper carry character, but you guys have forced him into that position because he needs to be able to do that damage, or rather, you need these characters to make him do that damage. Hopefully that makes way more sense. And the reason I'm saying this is because every time I mention Jingliu, for instance, someone tells me, bro, what's oh, actually the comment word for word, what's blood waffling about? Jingliu's not a hyper carry anymore? Question mark, LOL. What's blood waffling about? Dog. He's never been a hyper carry, especially now. You guys force him into a hyper carry scenario for one of two reasons. Number one, because he's ass. Number two, because you have to compensate for him not being able to do the same damage output as the other DPS characters in the game. Seele, Blade, eventually Jingliu, Imbiber de Lune. How do you compensate for that? I give him 2 buffers, the same, or actually less technically, but the same damage output that a Blade and Bronya combo could get me or give me, right? The same damage output that those two could do together. I need Jingliu, Tingyun, and Asta. So for my 2, I need 3. This is why I always say the things about Jingliu. Now, I'm not here to bash Jingliu. I'm actually here to, he's a really big part of why I would say pull Topaz over Jingliu. And so I don't want this to be like, oh yeah, he hates Jingliu, here it goes. No, I'm not bashing Jingliu here. I'm bashing this comment. Now that I've said that and I'm done rambling about it, Asta is the quote unquote best support or one of the best supports for Jingliu. To my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, the best Jingliu team consists of Jingliu, Tingyun, Asta, and then whatever sustain you want. At this moment in time, it's more than likely Fu Xuan. So you have those 4 characters which would consider or create your Hypercarry team comp. In Topaz's case, what do you do if you want to use her with Jingliu? Why would I want to do that? Well, for those that don't know, Topaz's huge thing is focusing on follow-up attacks. Lightning Lord is a follow-up attack. He counts as a follow-up attack, just like Numby. Now you have basically 2 Lightning Lords on one team. The question that needs to be brought up, it's not a matter of whether or not you are going to lose Lightning Lord stacks and therefore Jingliu can't be the main DPS anymore. That doesn't fucking matter. It literally comes down to my damage output and my consistency. Consistently with Asta, not E6 by the way, because apparently most players do not have an E6 Asta, which means you struggle with consistency keeping Asta's attack stacks up. Because Jingliu doesn't only care about the speed buff from Asta, you are looking for consistent big dick damage. Potentially, Topaz will give you consistent big dick damage. I will test this once it happens and I get my hands on the game, of course, or rather the characters, sure. But as of right now, in my head, and what other theory crafters are kind of like speculating, is whether or not Topaz plus Jingliu will be a better combination than Jingliu, Tingyun, and Asta. And it doesn't mean get rid of Tingyun, right? You could still have Jing, Ting, and then Topaz. But now you have Jing, Ting, Topaz, or you can have Jing, Tingyun, Topaz. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't really matter. Point being is that it could work. If Topaz was the focus, then you could replace Jing, Ting with Topaz, Asta. Now you keep Asta on the team, but no more Tingyun. And now you have Jingliu as a sub DPS slash main DPS backup, whatever you want to do. Point being is that both of them doing DPS damage, Jingliu being someone who could also function as a sub DPS character, though for whatever reason, a lot of you guys refuse to accept that. I guess it's blasphemy, I don't know, but it's possible. And then Topaz, who very clearly can focus as a main DPS and sub DPS character, they work in tandem with one another. Topaz does big dick damage. She then lets Numby do the proof of debt bullshit. And then Lightning Lord, Lightning Lord, dead, they're dead, GG's. You now have the option, the ability, the potential to consistently blow up whatever you want on the field with these 2 characters alone. That is what you're looking for. And that is where I was going with my entire point about what we have to talk about regarding Topaz. If you are looking for something like that, that is what you're gonna wanna pull Topaz for, outside of the thighs, right? Because I love thighs, she's hot, big sister, yada, yada, whatever. Outside of that, that is why you would wanna pull Topaz for Jingliu. Or if you have Clara, any character that has follow-up attacks and they're based around follow-up attacks. If you wanna make your Himiko better, or in this case, make her a better sub DPS by then having Topaz so that you get more damage out of her, whatever Himiko's blade robot thing is. Those are the type of things that you're looking for. Now, when it comes to Jingliu, and I was trying to not make this super long, but I don't want to give you the reasons for pulling Topaz and then just slander Jingliu. I would also like to talk about why Jingliu is worth the pull over Topaz. Earlier, I mentioned the things about big dick damage, the meta, things of the sort. Very similarly to how Topaz works with Jingliu, Jingliu works with Blade. Or at least she should work with Blade. Jingliu's whole thing is sucking away HP from the party, right? Nobody is excluded. Everybody gets their HP drained. It boosts Jingliu to do her damage, and then she murders whatever's on the field. As I discussed multiple times, any character that converts HP into their own damage output automatically above whatever other character could not do that. If the character has, which I've only seen, the highest attack stat I've seen in the game is 4,500. The highest HP stat I've seen in the game is 12,000. You do the math. If a character can convert 50% of their HP converted from that into their damage, well, the 12 becomes 6. So now you're doing 6K. The highest attack you have is 4,500. 6K is above 4,500. So it works in that, like the basic understanding of that is that it works in that fashion. I am not saying Jingliu is going to convert 50% and then all of a sudden she has 6K attack. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just giving you a basic example so that you understand where my brain is and what I'm trying to explain to you on paper. Blade, who if he's hit, if he has his HP consumed by himself or anyone else, he gets his follow-up attack stack. It's 5, whoosh, across the entire board. Jingliu, across the entire board. You now have full clear across the entire board. You are doing consistent 100% plus damage across the entire board from 2 very strong DPS characters, both of which can be considered main DPS characters. They function in a Hypercarry team. They can function as a sub DPS, not Jingliu, but more so Blade, but still, they function very well together. One activates the other. They work in tandem. So now that you have two characters coming on 1.4's banners that work in tandem with other characters that we already have in the game, this is what I meant by looking at what you have in your account and then saying who works with what I have. They're both gonna have pretty easy to build relic sets from what I'm looking at. You know, you have Ice, you have Theorized Quantum. You could run Musketeer on either of them. You could probably do some two-piece combinations in there. The light cones, I'm not too sure just yet. I need to see the finalized light cones. I need to see what they're gonna release and then tell us what we have, and then I'll be able to judge based off of that. So I don't want to get too much into that, but there's a lot that goes into that. I'll talk about this a little bit more in their own separate videos once the character's full like kit has been revealed. I think they'll be doing that this weekend. They normally have a pattern for doing that, but it is what it is. Off the top of my head, I can say that Jingliu, being a selfish as fuck character, will make her way more easy to build a team around getting the win con. What is a win con? Win condition. That is a win con. And what I mean by that, her being selfish, because she only cares about herself. She only cares about sucking HP away. It's going to be very easy for you to manage what you're looking for in your team. Oh, I want this much HP. I want all my characters to have a high HP stat so that she can convert a lot of damage very easily off of their HP stat. I want to be able to turn that into damage for Jingliu. I want to buff Jingliu, so I want this character to be able to do this thing for Jingliu specifically. Oh, I want to run her with Blade. Okay, I want to do this thing specifically so that both Blade and Jingliu get a boost. Or I want my Blade to have so much HP that he doesn't really need a buffer. So instead, I'll use a full AoE Nihility character, Pela, and then Pela is going to do a defense reduction across the board. It makes it easier to look at what you want, build the account for Jingliu, and then put the win condition over that. In Topaz's case, it's not harder, but it's not as easy. The reason it's not as easy because outside of the people who are going to try and run Hypercarry Topaz, which not to say that it won't work, it can work, but that is not what they look like they're doing based off what they've shown us. So Topaz plus Yuan, Topaz plus Clara, it'll be a little harder or a little more difficult to figure out what your win con would be, because there will be scenarios in this hypothetical world. Let's say that I'm running my Clara and I'm running Topaz, and Topaz is going to boost Clara's damage. So boom, Clara has more follow-up attack damage. She's stronger. Her crit rate, her damage is up. I have Fushwan on the team to increase the crit rate, all kinds of things. My goal is to get Clara to do the damage. Well, what if Topaz moves faster? What if Topaz is a faster character? What if Numby is way more beneficial to Topaz and Topaz becomes the main DPS character by default? What if Clara never gets hit? What if I don't have the forced aggro on Clara and she's not taking the hits, which means my follow-up attacks are not triggering? It becomes more difficult for your desired win con to get triggered so you win the game. That's honestly all it is. I think that's a pretty solid sum up of why a player would want to skip one or the other to then pull the other character. I wanted to be fair in both assessments for each character and give you guys a very not a whole full detailed run of whatever the hell is going on, but I wanted to give you valid reasons as to why you should consider this. This isn't so much for, and again, I know I'm gonna get this. Someone is gonna say, well guys, pulling for meta is dumb. Don't pull for meta, pull for who you want. No shit, Sherlock. I know, we all know, if I want Topaz, because I do, I'm just gonna pull Topaz. I should not have to make videos or keep saying that in a video for the player base to understand that. You, as the person that's watching this video, should very well understand if you want a character, pull the character. There's nothing anyone can say to you about that, but I feel like these videos are distinctly for players who want a little bit more information or a lot more information on what this character does differently than another character, how they benefit their potential account, what they could do if they improve their account, if they hinder their account, if getting this character is going to be asked, anything of the sort. You also still have Seele, right? You still have to decide between whether or not you want Seele from the rerun. If you're a new player, that'll be a whole different video for you that I will come back and link it. I will link it at the end of this video. It'll be in the bubble or it'll be in the pinned comments. But other than that, you guys can do whatever it is that you want. I just really wanted to get this out there. If you want to know more about like a last minute pull on Fushwan, you can see that not here, somewhere, somewhere over here in this space. You can see that, but I am going to get out of here. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, do leave a like, comment down below. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of this. We broke 15K. Thank you. Not on a video that I expected, but I like it because it was a fun video to do. Regardless, I can't say my usual outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Smell you later.